Wow, good morning, people. My monitoring isn't working. Monitoring? Like, what's it called? The Deco 27 song? Oh my god, no way. Just kidding. Just kidding. I think in general my audio isn't working. That's extra funny. I swear I have the right headphones in. There we go. Okay, it's working. I just had the volume all the way down. Guys, I'm kind of stupid. But we're good. Yeah. We are finishing the book today, which is kind of crazy. I didn't think we'd get this far. Yeah, the book. We're finishing. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of a short chapter. Not gonna lie. It's like way shorter than the other ones. So we can fill the space in with a bunch of yapping. I could also just wait a little bit for people to get here. But like, yeah, I can't believe we're like finishing the book after like what, 9 weeks of reading the book. We're finally finishing it. Yeah, we're finishing it. I've said that about 10 times already. He's gone through a lot. Sinclair's gone through a lot. I feel like we've gone through a lot as people, and this has been like 9 weeks, if you think about it. It's a very short amount of time in long scheme of things. Long scheme of things and the grand scheme of things. I meant to say long run and then grand scheme at the same time, and then it came out as long scheme. But like, yeah, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, 9 weeks isn't that much. But I feel like I've definitely changed a lot as a person. Not really changed a lot, but I've let my demons like inhale me. I don't know how to word it, but like, yeah, the 9 weeks, a lot has happened in 9 weeks. Like, a lot has happened in 9 weeks. It's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know how many streams I've done in those 9 weeks. It's, ooh. 2 months. 2 months. If I put it like that, it seems like a lot longer time. So yeah, here we are. I also made coffee today because I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna delay stream, I might as well make coffee, right? And so I made coffee. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do on Mondays after this stream. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'll make it Nikkei Mondays, and I'll just like do that on like on Twitch or something. Actually no, Nikkeis are reserved for like Wednesdays. I don't really know what to do. Am I gonna become a Nikkei streamer? Am I only gonna play Nikkei? I think I only want to play Nikkei. I have other interests. I just don't know what they are. I hear Arknights has backseaters, so I don't want to play Arknights on stream. But Nikkei I might play a lot more because it's funny. Yeah. I don't know, if you guys have like suggestions for things for me to do on stream, that would be like really highly appreciated because I genuinely don't know. Yeah. Speaking of things, I think I might end up having to cancel Wednesday or Thursday. If you feel like it, then go ahead. You're right. It's my channel. I can do what I want. Hell yeah. Where was I? Yeah, I don't really particularly know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I think I might cancel either Wednesday or Thursday just because I got shit going on. So there's that. I said a bad word. Oh no, YouTube, don't demonetize me. Oh no. Just kidding. My streams aren't even monetized in the first place, so I can't do that. Yeah, I should probably start reading the book now, huh? That'd be a good idea. Let me take a sip of coffee first. Hopefully I don't throw up from it. Me and my audible gulps. Kopiko's good. I like Kopiko a lot. Yeah, it's just hot water and like, what's it called? Hot water and powder. If only all things could be like that. I mean, if you think about it, all things can be like that, but I digress. I digress. Chapter 8. Oh wait, can you see this at the top here? No, you can't. Okay, thank God. Thank God. That was like an important thing that I needed to check on because I'm doing a project and like, it's not very discreet. I've been talking about it like for ages. I am like terrible. I can't be corpo because I would like leak every single thing. I just ruin my chances of ever getting into a corpo, but that's besides the point. yeah, I'm doing a thing with a bunch of other streamers, and it's gonna be exciting because that's also why I might cancel Thursday, because I have like a collab that night, so that's exciting. But that's besides the point. Chapter 8, beginning of the end. It had been decided that I should remain in H for the summer semester. Instead of staying in the house, we were almost always in the garden by the river. The Japanese, who by the way had been thoroughly beaten in the boxing match, was away, and the disciple of Tolstoy was also missing. I am free from America Land. Yes! Be free from America Land! I'm so proud of you, Lux. Also, hi, Lux. Hi. We're talking about nothing because we started reading the book. I stalled for time by yapping. Hopefully America Land didn't treat you terribly. Hopefully. Although it's America Land, so maybe it did. Yeah. Damien had procured a horse. Oh my god, Damien's a new Musume fan? Oh my god, no way, just kidding. I went for long rides every day. I was often alone with his mother. Sometimes I wondered greatly at the peaceableness of my life. I had been so long accustomed to being alone, to practice renunciation, to fight toilfully my own battles, that these months in H seemed to me like a time passed on a dream island, where I might live tranquilly in beautiful, enchanted surroundings. I felt that this was a foretaste of that new, higher community on which we meditated. Class privilege insulated me from a lot of it, I think. That's fair. That makes sense. Hopefully it insulated you from a lot of it. You just said that. What the freak? What's wrong with me? I don't know. Yeah, hopefully it was good. It was a good time. Or at least a decent time. I felt that this was a foretaste of that new, higher community on which we meditated. And now and then I was seized by a deep feeling of sadness, for I knew that this happiness could not last. I was not destined to breathe in the fullness of peace and comfort. I needed torment to spur me on. I felt that one day I should wake up from these dreams of beautiful love pictures to find myself standing once more alone in the cold world of others, where for me there would be only loneliness and fighting, no peace, no community of spirit. Oh, he's just like me for real. I hope I didn't catch COVID while I was there, though. That would be pretty bad. I hope you're okay. That'd be really bad. Then I yielded myself to the charms of Mother Eve's presence. My feeling for her was now doubly tender. I was glad that my fate bore still these beautiful, tranquil features. The summer weeks passed quickly and easily. Already the summer semester was drawing to a close. Leave-taking was near. I dared not think of it, and did not, but clung to the beautiful days like a butterfly to a honeyed flower. That was my period of happiness, the first fulfillment of my love's wishes, and my reception into the League. What was to come next? I would again have to fight my battles, be consumed by longing, have dreams, be alone. At this time, the feeling, the foretaste of separation, came over me so strongly that my love for Mother Eve blazed up suddenly, causing me pain. My god! Hold on, my contact is like... I gotta get eye drops. It's not that it's like dry. It's like my eyes feel dry. It's just I can randomly like feel them, and it's like gross. My god. How soon would the time come to say goodbye, and I should see her no more hear her firm step in the house, should find no more her flowers on my table. And what had I attained? I had dreamed and had lulled myself in comfort, instead of winning her, instead of fighting for her and drawing her to me for always. All that she had said to me about genuine love crossed my mind, hundreds of fine, suggestive words, 100 tender invitations, promises perhaps, and what had I made of them? Nothing! Nothing! I took up a position in the middle of my room, collected my whole conscious self together, and thought of Eve. I wished to concentrate the forces of my soul, in order to let her feel my love, in order to draw her to me. She was to come, longing for my embrace. My kisses were to suck insatiably the ripe fruit of her lips. I stood tense, until fingers and feet became stiff with cold. I felt force was going out of me. For a few seconds, something seemed to take shape with me, something bright and cool. I had for a moment the sensation as if I carried a crystal in my heart, and I knew that was myself. A cold chill pierced my heart. As I woke out of my fearful state of tension, I felt something was approaching. I was exhausted to the point of death, and I was prepared to see Eve step into the room, burning with passion, ravished. The sound of horses' hooves clattering down the long street rang nearer and nearer, then suddenly ceased. I sprang to the window. Below, Damien was dismounting. "What is the matter, Damien? Nothing can have happened to your mother." He did not listen to my words. He was very pale, and perspiration ran down both sides of his forearm over his cheeks. His horse was flecked with foam. He tied the reins to the garden fence, and then he took my hand and walked with me down the street. "Have you already heard the news?" I had heard nothing. Damien pressed my arm and turned his face to me with a dark, compassionate, singular look. "Yes, old man, now we're in for it. You know of the strained relations with Russia." "What? Is it war?" I had never believed it. He spoke in an undertone, although no one was near. It is not yet declared, but it's war. Rely on it. I haven't worried you lately, but I have seen 3 new omens since. It will be no foundering of the world, no earthquake, no revolution. It's war. You will see how that strikes everybody. Sorry, I should have put myself on Do Not Disturb. Whoopsie daisy. I got distracted. It's war. You'll see how that strikes everybody. It will be a joy to people. Everyone already rejoices that hostilities are about to commence. So insipid has life become for them. But you will see now, Sinclair, that is only the beginning. This will perhaps be a great war, a very great war. The new dispensation commences, and for those who adhere to the old, the new will be terrible. What will you do? War? Like in the hit game 100 line? Oh my god! No way! Whoa! I was perplexed. Everything sounded so strange and improbable. I don't know. And you? He shrugged his shoulders. As soon as mobilization orders are out, I join up. I am a lieutenant. You? I had no idea of that. Yes. It was one of my adaptations. You know, I have never wanted to appear out of the ordinary, and I've rather done too much in order to be correct, to do the right thing. In 8 days, I think I shall be already in the field. Oh my god. For God's sake. That's what I'm saying, Sinclair. Look here, old fellow. You mustn't take things so sentimentally. At bottom, it certainly won't give me pleasure to order machine gun fire to be turned on living creatures, but that is a secondary matter. Now each one of us will be seized by the great wheel of fate. You as well. You will certainly be called up. And your mother, Damien? Then for the first time, I recollected what I was doing a quarter of an hour before. How the world had changed. I had summoned together all my force in order to conjure up the sweetest picture, and now fate had suddenly put on a new, horrible mask. My mother! We need have no cares for her safety. She is safe. Safer than anyone else in the world today. You love her so very much. You knew it, Damien. He laughed brightly and without any embarrassment. You child! Naturally I knew it. No one has yet called my mother Mother Eve without loving her. By the way, how was that? You have called to either her or myself today, haven't you? Yes, I called. I called to Mother Eve. She felt it. She suddenly sent me away. I was to come to you. I had just told her the news about Russia. We turned back, scarcely speaking. He untied his horse and mounted. I first realized in my room how exhausted I was by Damien's message, and even more so by my previous spiritual exertions. But Mother Eve had heard me. My thoughts had reached her. She would have come herself if how wonderful all this was, and how beautiful. Now it was to be war. Now what we had so often spoken of. Now what we have so often spoken of. Okay, there we go. Was much in advance. Wait, Damien, how many people have fallen in love with your mother for you to know that? I don't know. This is just kind of like a weird family. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's a family nonetheless. So I guess we just ball with it. I guess. How strange the world's stream would no longer flow somewhere or other by us. That now is suddenly flowing through us, that fate and adventure called us, and that now or soon, the moment would come when the world would need us, when it would be transformed. Damien was right. One should not be sentimental over it. Only it was strange that I was now to experience that lonely thing. Fate, with so many, with the whole world. Good then. I was ready. In the evening, when I went through the town, every corner was alive with bustle and excitement. Everywhere the word war. That is a very good question. It is a very, very good question. I went to Mother Eve's house. We had supper in the summer house. I was the only guest. No one spoke a word about the war. But later, shortly before I left, Mother Eve said, "Dear Sinclair, you called me today. You know why I did not come myself. But don't forget. You know the call now, and if ever you need someone who bears the sign, call me again." She rose and went out through the gloaming into the garden. Tall and queenly, invested with mystery, she stepped between the trees. The foliage ceased its whispering at her approach, and over her head glimmered tenderly the many stars. So that's why he's always talking about stars, Mr. Damien. I see. I am coming to the end. Events marched quickly. War was declared. Damien, who looked strange in uniform with a silver-gray cloak, went away. I brought his mother home. Soon after, I also said goodbye to her. She kissed me on the lips and held me a moment on her breast, and her large eyes burned steadily close to mine. And all men were like brothers. They had in mind their country and their honor. But it was fate. They peeped for a moment into the unveiled face. Young men came out of barracks, stepped onto trains, and on many a face I saw a sign. Not ours, a beautiful and dignified sign, signifying love and death. I as well was embraced by people I had never seen before. I understood and responded gladly. It was an atmosphere of intoxication in which they moved, not that of a fated will. But the intoxication was sacred. It was due to the fact that they had all looked into the rousing eyes of destiny. It was already near winter when I went to the front. At first, in spite of the sensation of the bombardment, I was disappointed with everything. Formerly, I had often wondered why people so seldom were able to live for an ideal. Now I saw that many, yes, all men are capable of dying for an ideal, provided that such an ideal is not personal, not chosen of their own free will. For them it had to be an ideal accepted by and common to a great number. It's kind of interesting he brings that up, because this is bringing up, like, things I, like, what's it called? Things I learned in legal philosophy class. But with time I saw that I had underestimated men. Although service in a common danger renders them uniform, I saw many, living and dying, approach fate magnificently. Not only in an attack, but the whole time, many, very many of them had a fixed, faraway look, rather like that of a person possessed, a look which indicates entire ignorance of the end pursued, and a complete surrender of self to the unknown. No matter what they might believe and think, they were ready. They were there in case of need. Out of them would the future be formed. And however strongly the world's attention appeared to be focused on war and heroic deeds, on honor and other old ideals, however distantly and unnaturally sang the voices of humanity, all this was merely the surface, just as the question with regard to the foreign and political aims of the war was superficial. Deep down, below the surface of human affairs, something was in process of forming, something which might be a new order of humanity, for I could see many, many such died at my side, to whom the understanding was brought home that hate and rage, murder and destruction had no connection with the real object of the war. No, the object, just as the aims in view, was purely a matter of choice. Their deepest and most primitive feelings, even their wildest instincts, were not actually directed against the enemy. Their murderous and bloody work was an expression of their own inner being, of their cleft soul, which wished to rave and kill, to destroy and die, in order to be able to born anew. A giant bird was fighting its way out of the egg, and the egg was the world, and the world had to go to ruin. He said the thing. One night in early spring, I was doing sentry duty in front of a farm we had occupied. The wind was blowing in fitful gusts, shrieking and moaning according to the vagaries of its mood. Over the high Flanders sky rode an army of clouds, somewhere or other behind was a suspicion of moon. I had been restless throughout the whole of that day, troubled by cares which I could not precisely define. Now, at my dark post, I thought with fervor of the picture of my life up to that time, of Mother Eve, of DEMIAN. I stood leaning against a poplar, staring into the agitated sky, the mysterious quivering brightness of which soon resolved itself into a series of pictures. I felt by the odd slowness of my pulse, by the insensibility of my skin to wind and rain, by the lively wakefulness of my inner being, that a guide was near me. In the clouds, a large city could be seen, out of which millions of men were streaming, spreading in swarms over the broad countryside. In the very midst there appeared the mighty figure of a god, as big as a mountain, with glittering stars in its hair, and with the features of Mother Eve. Into it disappeared the processions of men, as into a gigantic cave, and were lost to view. The goddess shrank down on the ground, the sign on her forehead glittered brightly. She seemed to be under the influence of a dream. She closed her eyes, and her large features were twisted in pain. Suddenly she cried out, and out of her forehead sprang stars, which hurried in lovely arcs and half-circles over the black sky. One of the stars rushed noisily through the air to meet me, as if seeking me out. With a crash, it burst into 1,000 sparks, lifting me off my feet and hurling me onto the ground. The world broke up thunderously about me. They found me close to the poplar, covered with earth and wounded in several places. I lay in a cellar. Guns growled and rumbled overhead. I lay on a cart, and was jolted over empty fields. For the most part, I was either asleep or unconscious, but the more deeply I slept, the more strongly I felt that I was being drawn, that I followed the will of a force over which I was not master. I lay on straw in a stable. It was dark. Someone trod on my hand. But my inner self willed to go further. The mysterious force drew me on. Again I lay in a cart, and later on a stretcher. Even more strongly I felt in me the command to go forward. I was conscious only of the pressure, the force which seemed to be controlling my journeying thus from place to place. At last I was there. It was night. I was fully conscious, and I felt strongly the secret attraction and power which had brought me to that place. Now I was lying in a room, on a bed made up on the floor. I felt I had called at the place to which I had been called. I had arrived at the place to which I had been called. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. I glanced around. Close to my mattress was another, on which someone was lying, someone who bent over and looked at me. It was Max DEMIAN. I could not speak, and he either could not or would not. He only looked at me. A lamp which hung over him on the wall cast a light on his face. He smiled at me. For what seemed an immeasurably long time, he gazed unwaveringly into my eyes. Slowly, he inclined his face towards me, until we almost touched. "Sinclair," he said in a whisper. I signaled to him with my eyes that I understood him. He smiled again, almost as if in compassion. "Little one," he said, smiling. His mouth lay now quite close to mine. Softly, he continued to speak. "Can you still remember Frank Cromer?" he asked. I winked at him, and could even manage to smile. "Sinclair, old man, listen. I shall have to go away. Perhaps you will need me once again, on account of Cromer, or something. When you call me, I shall not come riding on a horse or in a train. You must hearken it to the voice inside you. Then you will notice it is I, that I am in you. Do you understand? And one other thing. Mother Eve said that if you were ever ill, I was to give you a kiss from her, which she gave me. Close your eyes, Sinclair. I obediently closed my eyes. I felt a light kiss on my lips, on which there was a trace of blood, which never seemed to stop flowing. And then I fell asleep. In the morning, I was awakened to have my wounds dressed. When at last I was properly awake, I turned quickly to the mattress by my side. A stranger lay upon it, a man on whom I had never before set eyes. The bandaging hurt me. All that has happened to me since hurt me. But my soul is like a mysterious locked house. And when I find the key and step right down into myself, to where the pictures painted by my destiny seem reflected on the dark mirror of my soul, then I need only stoop towards the black mirror and see my own picture, which now completely resembles him, my guide and friend. Woo! That was it. That was it. That was it. We did it. We finished Demian. Oh my god. Good job, guys. We actually finished the book. We finished it a lot earlier than I thought I would, but we finished it nonetheless. I probably should have saved this for last stream. Not gonna lie, if I knew it was gonna be this short, I would have saved it for last stream. That was a really short chapter, like, what, 12 pages? Hooray! Hooray! When the other ones were like, up to like, what, 20 pages? So, I don't want to end stream here, because it's like 25, we're like 25 minutes in. That's like way too short. That's not even 30 minutes in. We'll get to at least 30 minutes, right? We gotta get to at least 30 minutes. We're not gonna end stream here. You know what I should do? I should play the actual game Limbus Company. That's what I should do. Actually, we're gonna take care of a bunch of logistical stuff right now. Okay? Okay. We're gonna set the thumbnail for the other one. We're gonna set the thumbnail for the last stream. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna get work done. We're gonna get work done. Okay? That's part 6. That was like actually part 6. Part 7. Woohoo. Yeah. What do we do now? Okay, that last paragraph makes me wonder if Damien and Sinclair were indeed the same person all along, but it feels more like a contemporary twist. We're sending Rena to the mines. We're sending me to the mines. The mines. We're sending me to them. Let me bring up the last paragraph again. Okay. So, what are your guys' thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts on the entire book? Personally, I see how the ending, I feel like it ended pretty resolutely. Well, yes, it's an ending. Of course it would. But it's like, 19th century literature sometimes has like endings that, not 19th century, 20th century. 20th century literature sometimes has like times where it doesn't end so resolutely. I like, but sometimes it's on purpose though. Like, they always have like ambiguous endings, which is an interesting thing that I've noticed. Then again, most of the literature I read is like 19th century. Like either 19th century or like stuff I've had to read for class, so it's more contemporary. But like in my free time, it's mostly 19th century. God, I sound like such a nerd. But like, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And in general, with 20th century, a lot of it has to do with identity, which I don't know if a lot of it has to do with identity, but from what I've noticed from the books I've read, like of One Blood, identity. Woo, identity. Just kidding. I need to work on my cover for that with Mimi. Hi, Mimi. This is a second old book I know where one of the protagonists becomes the other protagonist. That's so interesting. That's so interesting. My other example is the non-existent night. Ooh, what if we look that up right now? What if we look that up after I change the thumbnail for this last stream? Let's do this. Save. Okay. The non-existent night by Italo Calvino. Ooh. Ooh. It explores questions of identity, integration of society, and virtue through the adventures of Agilolf, a medieval knight. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah. You know, that reminds me. We should read another book. It's a fun book. It's about a knight who doesn't exist because they're an empty suit of armor. Oh. Fun. That does sound like fun. Yeah. What should we read next? Is the little prince? Is the little prince copyrighted? I think it is. Until 2033. So we have 8 years until we can read the Little Prince. What other things can we read? The Stranger copyright? 52 years. We could read like essays on DEMIAN. DEMIAN essays. The squire is someone who does exist but doesn't remember, so they constantly change what they think they are and what their name is. Oh, I should add this to my Goodreads. I would drop the Goodreads, but that kind of uses my real name, so we're not gonna do that. Let's see. What are some? Let's look at some Spark. Let's see. DEMIAN Spark notes. We're gonna look at the Spark notes. We're gonna see what happens. I know people are like, Spark Notes doesn't help. Yes, it does. Spark Notes is good. Spark Notes is great. I can confirm this. As an English major, Spark Notes is wonderful. It's better than using like ChatGPT. Okay? Purchase. Get your copy of these helpful resources. Sinclair is a bird and a blonde. You know who else is a blonde bird? Who else is a blonde bird? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I know where this is going. I know where this is going. Oh my god. Ah! For the full book summary. Okay. Hawks MHA, you're so right. You're so right. Okay. Let's see what Spark Notes is like. Spark Notes is. What does Spark Notes think about DEMIAN? It's only one paragraph. We get to know Max DEMIAN only through the eyes of Emile Sinclair. Since Sinclair sees DEMIAN as almost divine, Sinclair would not be one to critique DEMIAN, to offer deep insights into his personality, to see how DEMIAN grows and changes. Oh, true, he never does do that. Thus in DEMIAN remains a fairly static character. This is just as well. DEMIAN's function in the novel is to help Sinclair break free of his upbringing. DEMIAN is Sinclair's guide through life. He watches out for him when he's being blackmailed by Cromer, and offers him intellectual excitement. DEMIAN teaches Sinclair to think differently, to discover himself and his desires. DEMIAN is there for Sinclair during the final period of time when he is becoming independent. Finally, when Sinclair has broken free, becoming an independent being, DEMIAN leaves him. DEMIAN's purpose is to make sure Sinclair develops. Once Sinclair is equipped to handle the world on his own, to act in accord with his desires, DEMIAN's purpose is fulfilled, his mission accomplished. He has no more use in Sinclair's life. He must leave Sinclair alone. Yeah. That's pretty basic. That's pretty... I don't know. I feel like DEMIAN is kind of straightforward, unless you want to start getting into like contemporary interpretations of it, like what you mentioned earlier about like wondering if DEMIAN is real or not. Like, I don't know. I should get a book club. I should start a book club. I don't know. I would do a book club on here, but I don't think I have enough people who are willing to actually read the books. And so many of the books I want to read that are like short are copyrighted, like The Stranger and like The Little Prince, so I can't read them. This one I know is not copyrighted anymore because it's been like over 100 years. Shrug. We read Wuthering Heights next. Just kidding. Wuthering Heights is a bit longer than DEMIAN, so maybe not. My voice would get tired really fast. Like that's another book we have to read on our own. Same thing with Moby Dick. We could do like a chapter of Moby Dick like every other stream. We could do, unironically, 2 chapters of Moby Dick like per stream. Let's see, 135. That would take like 70 streams. We don't have 70 streams. I literally graduate in like December. We don't have 70 streams to do Moby Dick. Yeah. Let's see. Frau Ava. Eva is the other character who has a complete hold on Sinclair's soul. She is for Sinclair what DEMIAN cannot be. DEMIAN is Sinclair's friend and mentor. Eva acts as Sinclair's mother and the object of his romantic love. Like DEMIAN, Eva's primary goal is to help Sinclair develop appropriately. Even before they have met, she serves as a goal for him, which she pursues vicariously through his pursuing of Beatrice. Once they meet, she is immensely caring, but also strong and commanding. She loves and coddles Sinclair, commiserating with him about the hard times he had during his adolescence. At the same time, however, she is strong and commanding, exhorting him to become more in touch and confident of his desires. Eva is a symbol of perfection and completion. She encompasses everything. She is masculine yet feminine, a mother figure, the object of intense romantic love. Casting Rena into the depths, making them read lit RPG light novels? Maybe. we start reading Chloe's Requiem, the light novel. We play One Bit Heart right now. Just kidding. We could. Yeah. I don't know. Should I end stream here? It's a short stream. I hate making my Twitch and YouTube stream short, but like, kind of can't help it considering how short that chapter was. Like, what do you mean we ended at 25 minutes? We play Limbus Company right now. I have to do my downloads for Limbus Company, because of the thing. Suggested essay topics. Ooh, wait, suggested essay topics? Essays. Suggested essay topics. Okay. Let's close Limbus Company. We're not playing Limbus Company right now. Gotta read hit web novel Chrysalis. Whoa. Web novels. I'm not really much of a web novel person, to be honest. Web novels, they're interesting. I just can't get into them. I gotta have like the paper in my hands, you know? Okay. Compare and contrast Sinclair's relationships with Demian and Pistorius. Pistorius felt a lot more distant. Demian felt a lot more intimate. That's what I'm saying there. The original German title, it's Ants. It's the web novel. I read it because it's Ants all the way down. I am a little creeped out by bugs. I'm so sorry. I would not be able to read it. Maybe I could. I don't know. Fiction, reading things is a lot easier than like experiencing them and watching them like on a movie. So who knows? Okay. The original German title of Damien was the story of Emile Sinclair's youth. Which title do you think is more appropriate? This is a good question. What do we think? The story of Emile Sinclair's youth. Half of it takes place when he's 18. So I don't really know. Then again, 18 is arguably like still youth. Depending on who you ask. I think anyone over the age of 18 would say, yeah, that's still youth. Anyone under the age of 18 would be like, no, you're an adult already. Anyone at age 18 would be like, I don't fucking know. The story of Emile Sinclair's youth. I feel like they kind of have to go in tandem with each other, right? Like Damien is the story of Emile Sinclair's youth. Because like Damien, like again, like what the analysis said earlier, basically said, because like that basically said, what's it called? Oh my god, I can't think. Or it basically said that Damien like was there to help him develop. I feel like even though he wasn't there for like half the book, he still made a lasting impression on Sinclair. The story of Sinclair's youth is more accurate. The answer is that Damien is more marketable as a name of story by contemporary standards. You know, this reminds me actually. This reminds me of something I learned in my African American literature class. It doesn't have anything to do with African American literature, but it has to do something with like 19th to 20th century literature in general. Is that oftentimes, if the book had a female lead, the book would just full on be called the name of the female lead, and then it would have the subtitle. So it's kind of, I know that's just a very broad rule, but I think it's still interesting that Damien is the name of like, Damien in like all his androgyny, is the name of the, what's it called, the book. Yeah. What else? You guys know X-Love, like the K-pop group? I am firmly of the belief that their first song was based off Damien. Nobody needed to know that, but I am firmly of the belief that, cause like they got the school uniforms, they got the like I'm a bee, like that's so Damien pilled. Because Damien is really popular in South Korea. Like BTS has a song based on it. Dreamcatcher has a song based on it. There's a bunch of stores based on it. I'm just saying. It's really popular there. What is the significance of Sinclair's relationship with Nar? Did they break the world's shield? Did they? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Shell. Hold on. I don't want to watch the video on stream because I don't want like copyright to get copyright struck, but let me see what happens if I search up Love I'm a bee. But in particular, when I think of like Damien in regards to like X Love, I think of like Wumiti's hairstyle in the music video for I'm a Bee. Like, hold on, let me like copy paste this. Hold on. Like, you know, do you guys get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? Like, this is so Damien pilled. I think it might be a little bit delusional, but the connections are there. Sometimes with literary analysis, you have to be a little bit delusional, you know? Yeah. Like bro, that is Damien. Yeah, that's where I'm getting, I'm looking too into things, but that's just who I am. I gotta look too into things, you know? That's the whole point of my entire education. The only visuals I associate with Damien are the Limbus ones, so I can't say for sure. That's fair, because I think we are biased, because he does look like the Damien from Limbus. I think we are biased, and by we, I mean definitely me. I'm biased towards what he looks like, because Damien, woo. Let's see, where were we? Significance of Sinclair's relationship with Naur. What connection can be drawn between Naur and other characters in the book? Sinclair, it's supposed to see, I guess, how Damien like presents himself through Sinclair, I guess. Where Naur is like still stuck in like that in-between worldisms, like Sinclair was, whereas Sinclair has like found his like place being in between two worlds. Sinclair has found his place there, and Naur still is like trying to come to terms with it. And so when it comes to Sinclair acts as a Damien figure for Naur. What connections can be drawn between Naur and other characters in the book? Ooh. I guess the easiest person to compare, contrast Naur to would be Cromer, because of like they both have an influence on Sinclair, and they both like have like a reliance on Sinclair, or Pistorius. Like Cromer relies on Sinclair. If I was looking for a literal interpretation, I would assume Damien is some sort of fake creature. That's true. He does appear like at really convenient times, and seems to be kind of magical. Like, I don't know. He does seem to be a sort of like fey creature, yeah. Let's see, yeah, Naur and Cromer both have that reliance on Sinclair. Cromer has that like financial kind of reliance, and also like that power and control over Sinclair, whereas Naur, he kind of like places his own like control into Sinclair. He's like, Sinclair, tell me what to do. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So that's that comparison. Why do you think Hessa chose to have Sinclair narrate the story himself? Is the older Sinclair a reliable narrator? Should we trust him? How does the older Sinclair's presence add to the themes of the novel? Okay, if we're going by a more like a literal standpoint, the first person point of view is probably because that was like a really popular point of view to use at the time. As a weird mystical guide to Sinclair, but explicitly one that questions the common religious beliefs of Sinclair peers, removing him from the idea of a guardian angel. Ooh, that's good. I totally agree. Like, when you put it like that, especially with him leading, like, it's like what it would have mentioned earlier with, like, Sinclair treating Damien as a, like, kind of, like, constantly in a positive light. Like, he never looks down on Damien. It's just kind of convenient, and it really makes you wonder how, like, reliable Sinclair is as a narrator. Like this question is asking. Like, we have nothing that, like, proves that we shouldn't trust him, but, like, it's hard to trust him when all he does is, like, when he sees the world in such, like, black and whiteness. Or at least he did see the world in black and whiteness. As time went on, he started seeing things more in a gray area, but that's still, the novel does set you up for a black and white, like, viewpoint. Anti-Braxton stuff. Like Damien could be evil. If you put it like that, Damien could be a little bit evil. And like, if we go back to the original, it could be Damien is leading Sinclair to the world of dark by, like, drawing him away from the world of light. So I think that's a really good interpretation. Let's see. At the end of the work, Damien gives Sinclair a kiss, which he says is from Frau Eva, and tells him that they will no longer see each other. Discuss the significance of this episode. What does it say about Sinclair, Damien, and Frau Eva? They had a really freaky thing going on. That's not the only takeaway. That's not the only takeaway, I swear. But like, the significance of this episode, I don't know, I feel like the only thing that was stopping, I know, like, it's like redundant and like old and like kind of shallow to reduce them to just like yaoi, right? But at the same time, it's like the only reason why Sinclair was in love with Frau Eva was because she looked like a female version of Damien. If we take it into contemporary standards and like release the whole like same-sex like attraction like prejudices of the time, he would have fallen in love with Damien. It sounded like he was in love with Damien. Like, but the only thing stopping them was the fact that they were both boys. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, he who's hungry will only see food. But like, I know it's like that's what it sounds like. What's best for Sinclair doesn't need to be him being a good person. True, indeed. How does Damon differ from Frau Eva, and how does this difference play out in Sinclair's development? Ooh. Let's see. Damon differ from Frau Eva. Well, first of all, Damon's a dude. Frau Eva is more like. Frau Eva feeds more into like Sinclair's like attraction. Damien is definitely like aware of Sinclair's attraction. Like he's aware of it at least towards his mother. So like, Damon definitely picked up on like Sinclair's like fondness for him. But he doesn't like act out on it, which is interesting because he goes against the norm typically. What else? Damien being a lieutenant was kind of like threw me in for a loop. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Shout out to Spark Notes. See guys, Spark Notes is good. Spark Notes is good. We are not completing any of our thoughts. And by we I mean me. I'm not completing any of my thoughts. It's okay. We finished the book 20 minutes ago. That's great. Do we have any other thoughts? If I had to think specifically about Power Scaling, Frau Eva, more like Fraud Eva, am I right? No. You know, I'm wondering how they're gonna portray Frau Eva and like, and Beatrice in Limbus Company, because so far we've had nothing likening to a Beatrice or a Frau Eva. But Beatrice is a character in the Inferno though, and I haven't read the Inferno, which I will eventually. It's just kind of like long, so I'm not gonna read it on stream. Like, yeah, I don't know. I also need to read Faust. Is the wings like copyrighted? I don't think it is. I don't. It might be. The Wings, the song. Oh, 1936. Never mind. We can't do the Wings. Yeah. That's so L. All the shortest works are the ones that are like not that are copyrighted. So I don't want to get copyright struck or like have a cease and desist placed onto me. That's so L, but it's okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I have no other thoughts. My head's empty. I haven't taken a literature class in ages. Hello, MG. Welcome in. We did finish the book 20 minutes ago, and I think we're about to wrap up soon. We did have a little bit of a discussion about, like, the actual book itself, based off, like, these Spark Notes questions. So, many essays. Ooh. Paragraphs. No, I know, it's so sad. But we did finish the book. In the chapter that we just read, Sinclair basically joined the military and was getting shot down, and when he woke up in the medics, like, in, like, the hospital, Damien was there, and they kissed, and Damien disappeared after, like, Sinclair, like, went back to sleep. Cromer was brought up once again. Hold on. Let's go back here. See, the end. Cromer was brought up once again. Where was he brought up? Yeah. Sinclair, old man, listen. I shall have to go away. Perhaps you'll need me once again, on account of Chroma or something. When you call me, I shall not come riding on a horse or on a train. You must hearken into the voice inside you. Then you will notice it is I, that I am in you. Do you understand? And one other thing. Mother Eve says that if you ever were ill, I was to give you a kiss from her, which she gave me. Close your eyes, Sinclair. If this is a shonen manga, Chroma would have appeared through the entire thing as Sinclair's rival. You were right. You were right. And they'd be fighting, and that's... Sorry, stretching. They would be fighting, and it would be a funny time. And Sinclair would be like, yeah, my rival is so much better than me. I don't know if I can beat him. And Damian would be like, you can do this, Sinclair. Yeah. No. And that's exactly how they would act if they were shown in anime. Trust. It'd be like a sports anime. I don't know what sport, but it would be a sports anime. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too Uma Musume pilled. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was fun. We had like a little discussion about the book. We read the book. Let me some kisses, Damian. This is base Chroma we're up against. And then they make out. Mwah. Just kidding. Yeah. I think that might be it for this stream. This definitely was a wild ride of a book. This was an interesting time. Thank you guys for like joining me on this journey to read the book. It was fun. I don't think I'll do many more reading streams, because so many of my viewer base is like Loomis Company Pill, and if I do, like, I can't believe we spent so much time reading BL. Yeah, 19th, not 19th. I mean, I keep saying 19th century, 20th century BL. Fun times. Yeah, I can't believe we just did all that. That's kind of fun, kind of great. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Anyone else have anything else to say? No more reading streams. That's how you know we're not getting more 100 line. No, yeah. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I just enjoy listening to any type of stories. Yay! Yay! I don't know, because most of my viewer base is like Limbus Company, so I do want to do Limbus Company things, but at the same time, I'm like against it because I'm like, we could read The White Heron. That's the story that my OC is based off. Is that copyrighted too? I hope it's not. I hope it's not. 1886, let's go! We can read it. Would you say you're between two worlds? Yeah. Unironically, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we should read The White Heron, guys. We should read The White Heron. I'm being so for real. We're gonna read it probably next stream. Because next Monday stream, because it's a fun time. Speaking of streams, I have a collab next week. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that so exciting? Yeah. Hold on, let me like check my collab list. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, whoops, I haven't responded to a thing. Oh, I need to actually like plan that out. Okay, yeah. I gotta take care of some logistical things in terms of collabs, so I'm gonna go do that. I have a lot of things to do today. My procrastination does not end at just schoolwork, apparently. So I'm gonna end stream soon, after I make my announcements. Let's see. Listen to my Iron Lotus cover, please. Pleek. Yeah, what else do I have to say? Yeah. Listen to my Iron Lotus cover. Next stream will be on Wednesday, and that'll be Nikkei, and that's gonna be on Twitch, because Twitch is a fun time. And I think, I don't know, I might do more streams on Twitch than YouTube. Just because, like, Twitch is fun. We do fun things over there. Yeah. That was a fun book. Okay. I am gonna stop stalling for time and, like, end stream now. Thank you guys for coming in. It means a whole lot. Howdy and Lookman, Max and MGE, and anyone else who's here. Yeah. And Lux, if you're still here. Yeah, thank you guys for chatting. It was a good chat. Yeah. I'm gonna end now. Bye, guys. See you Wednesday or later today on Irium if you guys have Irium, or tomorrow on Irium if you guys have Irium. Anyways, bye. Wee.